Talk Ava. Learn English with confidence.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Talk Ava. It is good to have you here with us today. Take a moment to relax, sit comfortably, and prepare to listen carefully. In this podcast, we speak slowly and clearly so you can understand real English in a natural way.
Hello and welcome. We are very happy you are here practicing English with us. Whether you are studying seriously or just listening during a quiet moment, this is a good place to improve your listening and speaking skills step by step.
If this is your first time here, welcome to our channel. On Talk Ava, we help you learn English through calm and natural conversations. And if you enjoy learning with us, please take a moment to like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to the channel.
Yes, your support helps us continue creating simple and useful English lessons for you. It also helps more learners find this kind of slow and clear English practice.
In each episode, we focus on simple conversations from everyday life. These conversations help you understand how English is really used. Today, we are going to explore a topic that many learners find confusing.
Yes, today we will talk about the difference between I did and I have done. These two forms are very common in English, but many learners are not always sure when to use each one.
You might hear both forms in daily conversations, at work, at school, or at home. Sometimes they sound similar, but they are used in different situations.
That is right. The difference becomes easier to understand when we look at real examples. Instead of memorizing rules, we will listen to simple situations that feel natural and familiar.
We will move slowly and repeat important patterns so you can notice the difference clearly.
By the end of this episode, you will feel more comfortable choosing between I did and I have done.
Let's begin with a simple idea. When we use I did, we are usually talking about something that happened at a finished time in the past. The action is complete and the time is also complete.
For example, you can say, I visited my friend yesterday. The word yesterday shows a clear past time. It is finished, so the sentence uses visited.
You can also hear sentences like, I cleaned my room last night, or I watched a movie 2 days ago. In all of these examples, the time is clear and already finished.
Now, let's look at I have done. This form is a little different. Here, we are not focused on a specific time. Instead, we are thinking about the result or the experience.
For example, you can say, I have visited my friend. In this sentence, we do not know when it happened. The important idea is that the visit is part of your experience now.
Another example is, I have cleaned my room. The focus is not the time. The focus is the result. The room is clean now.
So we can think about it in a simple way. If the time is clear and finished, we often use I did.
And if the time is not important and we care about the result or the experience, we often use I have done.
Here is a question for our viewers. Think about your own life and try to answer using one of these forms. What did you do yesterday, or what have you done today? Please write your answer in the comments section. This will help you practice and use English in a real way.
When you write your answer, try to notice if you are talking about a finished time or about a result. This small detail will help you choose the correct form more naturally.
Let's now move into some simple daily life situations. These examples will help you notice patterns more clearly. Imagine a quiet morning. 2 people meet outside a small coffee shop. One person looks at the other and asks, "Did you stop by the bakery last night?"
The other person replies, yes, I stopped by after work. The phrase last night shows a finished time. That is why the speaker uses stopped.
Now imagine the same situation, but the question changes slightly. The person asks, "Have you stopped by the bakery?"
The reply is, yes, I have stopped by. Here, the time is not important. The focus is the result. The visit happened. The result is what matters.
Let's look at another everyday situation. A student is talking with a friend before class. The friend asks, "Did you complete your homework last night?"
The student replies, "Yes, I completed it before dinner." The phrase last night shows a clear past time, so the sentence uses completed.
Now imagine the question is slightly different. The friend asks, "Have you completed your homework?"
The student replies, "Yes, I have completed it." Here, the time is not important. The focus is the result. The homework is ready now.
Now let's think about a morning routine. A person is talking to a friend and says, "I took a shower early this morning."
If the morning is finished, then this morning becomes a past time. That is why the speaker uses took. Now imagine the person says something different. The person says, "I have taken a shower today." In this sentence, the day is still continuing. The speaker is talking about something that has happened during today. The exact time is not important.
Let's look at another simple moment. Two friends are talking about breakfast. One friend asks, "Did you drink coffee before leaving home?"
The other friend replies, "Yes, I drank coffee in the kitchen." The action is complete and the situation is clearly in the past, so the speaker uses drink.
Now imagine a different version of the same question. One friend asks, "Have you drunk coffee yet?"
The other friend replies, "Yes, I have drunk coffee already." In this case, the time is not important. The focus is the result. The person is not sleepy anymore.
Let's take another example from daily life. A person is talking about their morning activities. The person says, "I read the news at 7 o'clock."
The time, at 7 o'clock, clearly shows a finished moment in the past. That is why the speaker uses read.
Now imagine the person says, "I have read the news."
In this sentence, the exact time is not important. The important idea is that the activity is complete. The person already knows the news.
Now let's move to work and study situations. These are also very common in daily conversations. Imagine two coworkers meeting in the office in the morning. One coworker asks, "Did you send the email last night?"
The other coworker replies, "Yes, I sent it before leaving the office." The phrase last night shows a finished time, so the speaker uses sent.
Now imagine the coworker asks a different question. The coworker asks, "Have you sent the email?"
The reply is, "Yes, I have sent it." In this case, the time is not mentioned. The important idea is that the email is already sent.
Let's look at another work situation. Two coworkers are discussing a presentation. One coworker asks, "Did you prepare the slides yesterday?"
The other coworker replies, "Yes, I prepared them in the afternoon." The word yesterday clearly shows a past time, so the speaker uses prepared.
Now imagine the same conversation with a small change. The coworker asks, "Have you prepared the slides?"
The reply is, "Yes, I have prepared them." The focus is on the result. The slides are ready now.
Now let's imagine a conversation about speaking with a manager. One coworker asks, "Did you talk to the manager this morning?"
The other coworker replies, "Yes, I talked to her before the meeting." The phrase this morning can be a finished time, so the speaker uses talked.
Now imagine the question is different. The coworker asks, "Have you talked to the manager?"
The reply is, "Yes, I have talked to her." The time is not mentioned. The important idea is that the conversation has already happened.
Let's take another example from study life. Two students are talking after class. One student asks, "Did you submit the assignment yesterday?"
The other student replies, "Yes, I submitted it in the evening." The word yesterday shows a finished time, so the speaker uses submitted.
Now imagine a slightly different question. The student asks, "Have you submitted the assignment?"
The reply is, "Yes, I have submitted it." The focus is on the result. The assignment is complete.
Let's look at one more example. A student is talking about studying. The student says, "I reviewed my notes last night."
The phrase last night clearly refers to the past. That is why the speaker uses reviewed.
Now imagine the student says something different. The student says, "I have reviewed my notes."
In this sentence, the time is not important. The important idea is that the studying is done and the student is prepared.
As you listen to these examples, you may notice the same pattern again and again. When there is a clear past time, speakers use "I did."
And when the focus is on the result or the experience and the time is not important, speakers use I have done.
Repeating these patterns helps you understand them more naturally. Let's now look at another group of situations. These examples are about habits and life experiences. In many conversations, people ask about things someone has done in their life.
Yes, and in these situations, we often hear questions that begin with, "Have you ever?" This type of question is about experience, not about a specific time.
Let's imagine two friends talking about exercise. One friend asks, "Did you go to the gym yesterday?"
The other friend replies, "Yes, I went to the gym after work." The word yesterday shows a finished time, so the speaker uses went.
Now imagine a different question. One friend asks, "Have you ever gone to that new gym near the park?"
The other friend replies, "Yes, I have gone there a few times." In this case, the question is about experience. The exact time is not important.
Let's look at another situation. Two friends are talking about books. One friend asks, "Did you read that novel last month?"
The other friend replies, "Yes, I read it during my holiday." The phrase last month shows a clear past time, so the sentence uses read.
Now imagine the question is different. One friend asks, "Have you ever read that novel?"
The other friend replies, "Yes, I have read it." The question is about experience. The listener wants to know if the person has had that experience at any time in their life.
Now let's think about movies. Two friends are talking in the evening. One friend asks, "Did you watch that movie last weekend?"
The other friend replies, "Yes, I watched it on Saturday night." The phrase last weekend clearly shows a finished time, so the speaker uses watched.
Now imagine a slightly different question. One friend asks, "Have you ever watched that movie?"
The other friend replies, "Yes, I have watched it." Again, the focus is on experience. The exact time is not important.
Let's take another example. Two people are talking about travel. One person asks, "Did you visit Italy last year?"
The other person replies, "Yes, I visited Italy in the summer." The phrase last year shows a finished time, so the sentence uses visited.
Now imagine the question changes. One person asks, "Have you ever visited Italy?"
The other person replies, "Yes, I have visited Italy." This question is about life experience. It does not ask about a specific time.
In all of these examples, we can see a clear pattern. When the question includes a specific time, we use did.
And when the question is about experience, especially with have you ever, we use have done. The time is not important in these situations.
Now, let's move to another important idea. This idea is about the difference between today and finished time expressions, like yesterday.
Yes, this is an important point. Sometimes, even when we talk about the present day, we may still use different forms depending on the situation.
Let's look at a simple example. A person is talking in the evening and says, "I finished my work yesterday."
The word yesterday clearly shows a finished time. That is why the speaker uses finished.
Now imagine the person says, "I have finished my work today."
In this sentence, the day is not finished yet. The day is still continuing. The speaker is focusing on the result. The work is done now.
Let's take another example. A person says, "I woke up late this morning."
If the morning is already over, then this morning becomes a finished time. That is why the speaker uses woke up.
Now imagine the person says, "I have woken up early today."
In this case, the day is still continuing. The speaker is describing something that has happened during today without focusing on the exact time.
Let's look at a daily routine example. A person is talking to a friend and says, "I ate lunch at 1 o'clock."
The time at 1 o'clock shows a specific moment in the past, so the speaker uses ate.
Now imagine the person says, "I have eaten lunch."
Here, the exact time is not important. The focus is the result. The person is not hungry now.
Let's take another simple situation. A person says, "I completed my tasks this morning."
If the morning is finished, this becomes a past time, so the speaker uses completed.
Now imagine the person says, "I have completed my tasks already."
The word already shows that the action is finished, but the time is not important. The focus is the result.
Let's look at one more example. A person is talking about their day and says, "I checked my messages yesterday evening."
The phrase yesterday evening clearly shows a finished time, so the speaker uses checked.
Now imagine the person says, "I have checked my messages today."
In this sentence, the day is still continuing. The speaker is focusing on something that has happened during today without giving a specific time.
As you listen to these examples, you may notice another pattern. Words like yesterday, last night, or last week usually connect with I did.
And words like today, already, or questions about experience often connect with I have done. These patterns appear again and again in real conversations.
Let's now look at some situations from home and personal life. These are very common in everyday conversations. Imagine a simple situation at home. A parent is talking to a child and asks, "Did you clean your room yesterday?"
The child replies, "Yes, I cleaned my room in the afternoon." The word yesterday shows a finished time, so the speaker uses cleaned.
Now imagine the parent asks a slightly different question. The parent asks, "Have you cleaned your room?"
The child replies, "Yes, I have cleaned it." In this case, the time is not important. The focus is the result. The room is clean now.
Let's take another example. Two family members are talking in the kitchen. One person asks, "Did you cook dinner last night?"
The other person replies, "Yes, I cooked dinner for everyone." The phrase last night clearly shows a finished time, so the speaker uses cooked.
Now imagine a different question. The person asks, "Have you cooked dinner yet?"
The reply is, "Yes, I have cooked dinner already." The focus is the result. The food is ready now.
Now let's look at another daily situation. A person is talking about chores and says, "I washed the dishes this morning."
If the morning is finished, then this is a past time, so the speaker uses washed.
Now imagine the person says, "I have washed the dishes."
In this sentence, the time is not important. The important idea is that the dishes are clean now.
Let's imagine another small conversation. Two people are talking at home. One person asks, "Did you take out the trash yesterday?"
The other person replies, "Yes, I took it out in the evening." The word yesterday shows a finished time, so the speaker uses took.
Now imagine the question changes. The person asks, "Have you taken out the trash?"
The reply is, "Yes, I have taken it out." The focus is on the result. The task is complete.
Let's look at one more example. A family member is talking about helping at home and says, "I helped my parents last weekend."
The phrase last weekend clearly shows a past time, so the sentence uses helped.
Now imagine the person says, "I have helped my parents."
In this sentence, the time is not important. The focus is the experience or the result. The help has already happened.
These examples show how these forms are used naturally in everyday home situations. When the time is clear and finished, we use I did.
And when the focus is on the result or the experience and the time is not important, we use I have done.
Now, let's take a moment to review what we have learned today. We have seen many examples from daily life, work, and home situations.
Yes, and the main idea is simple. When you see a clear past time, such as yesterday, last night, or last week, you usually use I did.
And when the time is not important and you want to talk about a result or an experience, you use I have done.
We also looked at questions like, have you ever, which are used to ask about life experiences.
Another important idea is the difference between finished time and unfinished time. Words like today or already often focus on the present result.
Listening to these patterns again and again helps you understand them more naturally. You do not need to memorize long rules. You just need to notice how people speak.
A good way to practice is to repeat these sentences slowly. You can also create your own examples from your daily life.
For example, you can think about your day and say, I finished my work yesterday, or I have finished my work today.
With regular practice, these patterns will become easier to use. Over time, you will not need to think too much before choosing the correct form.
Learning a language takes time, but small steps like this can make a big difference.
Thank you for spending this time with us today. We hope this conversation has helped you understand the difference between I did and I have done more clearly.
Keep listening to English, keep practicing, and try to use these forms in your daily conversations.
The more you listen and repeat, the more natural your English will become.
We look forward to practicing with you again in the next episode here on Talk Ava.